Hi guys, welcome. This is Roxanne with you, and I just want to thank you guys for subscribing. And today I just want to talk to you guys about this is stress management techniques for students in particular. So if you're a student, if you're in high school, elementary, if you are a mom for a student, or if you're in college, particular college students, it can be difficult for you, but for any student at all, I want you to just kind of tune in. I do have some helpful tips that I want to share with you. One of the things that really led me to this, and I just want to just kind of like really shout out to all the family and friends of a good friend of mine as well, who she died in the midst of studying very suddenly. Daily Beckford Evans, and she was a Purview student, very hardworking, full of life and energy, charming young person, and just promising, a promising psychologist. And one of the things that kind of led me to this, as I mentioned, is just being able to share like some of the things, because I know she would have been doing this, like supporting other students. And so just in honor of her, I just wanted to share just a little bit of things that can be helpful for students out there, as I honor her and as I continue to grieve her loss, and also her family and friends and students as well at Purview who are grieving her loss. And for persons out there too, if you're grieving the loss of a student as well, just kind of tune in and feel supported by this as well. One of the things that is very, very challenging with being a student, you're trying to make it through a goal that you want to accomplish, your career goal, and you have other things that are going on. You play different roles. You're working, you're trying to make things meet financially. You're also maybe a mom or maybe a dad for some persons. Being a student can be a lot, or you could be engaged in other things. You would, maybe you're involved in sports and trying to make it through academically or other areas of your life. So there are several goals, but being a student is, one of those goals, and it can be very, very challenging and overwhelming. I remember the days of being a student and also being a mom at the same time. That was a lot for me, and I remember going through that process. And I just want to charge and challenge and also encourage students, whether you're a mom or you're just kind of going through with other things, that hey, like, I understand, and feel supported. And I also want you to get the solid help that you need. Just recognize where you're at, recognize when you are actually struggling, when you are you're feeling the physical symptoms of stress, because one of the things that will overwhelm you is just feeling very stressed and not able to communicate that and verbalize that, or not doing anything to actually alleviate the symptoms of stress. And some of the symptoms of stress would include things like having constant headaches, feeling dizzy, losing your appetite, just kind of like feeling very confused, having struggles with your memory, short-term memory, breathing heavily. Those are some of the common symptoms of feeling stress. And for some persons, this can trigger other things, like having like a panic attack, having just feeling anxious. And if you have some psychological diagnosis, for sure this will not work well for it if you are experiencing a stress. So something that's stressful. So we want to be just like very careful of our student population, a very delicate population, and just to kind of help persons through, just support persons while they're studying, checking in just to make sure that they're fine. So some of these symptoms happen, and they sometimes feel like, hey, it's a normal part of it, but you know, it's important for you to make sure if you're a student and you're feeling some of these symptoms, you get the solid help that you need. Okay, so one of the things that you can do and you should do, most colleges, universities, or you know, high school students or elementary, there is usually a counselor, student counselor. Make sure that you're checking in with that counselor. You go in, you express how you're feeling, you're physically feeling overwhelmed. You feel as if you can't do your work, you're tired, you're feeling very stressed all the time. This can impact your grade. So if you're feeling this way, if it feels too much, it's best to just kind of stop, you know, take a break from it, speak to someone, and you know, get that solid one-on-one care that you need. And people will definitely understand if you're in you know, if you're a student and you might feel as if this is going to be a delay for me, but it's, you know, it's really better for you to just to be safe, and sometimes you could get additional support in the time that is needed, for example, to complete your assignment, or you know, that kind of a thing. So go in and just get it taken care of with a counselor, and you know, get some extra time if needed to complete your work. So it's really important to do that. You know, those one-on-one care is very important. Another thing that, you know, you have to do, it's a must do as a student, make sure that you are doing your self-care routine. You must be involved in some form of physical activity, whether it's going to be a part of a gym or you're doing your runs or walks. You have to be doing something, even though it feels like your schedule is far overwhelming. Hey, you have to put in that time to get the energy time that you know, the quality time that you need. You have to take care of yourself. You're going to get a lot more mental strength and energy to do your assignments, to be on time for classes and everything once you're pouring into yourself. Just that physical time and being energized through exercise and you know, and all that kind of stuff. So make sure that you're involved in that. A group of you can actually work together with that as well, because it's always good to get that support. Students are going through the same kinds of things. And you know, if I can remember some of the things that are common for students, financially, it can be a lot. It can be overwhelming. You're going through school, it's expensive. The cost, the prices are really something that you have to be able to manage and budget well. So that can be a lot. Just the assignments, you know, every assignment seems to, you know, you have the same due date for almost all assignments, it seems. So it can feel quite a lot with that too. So students are pretty much going through that. Sometimes a lot of relationship challenges, you know, this is a period a lot of persons might be on the search, might be dating a lot more. They're a lot more independent. So life has hit and changed for them. And if you're not there yet, you could be maybe a minor who's going through, you're going through high school just the same, and you're experiencing some of these stresses as well. Not as much, maybe not dating, but trying to, you know, trying to build relationships, trying to work things through with your parents, trying to understand your parents more, getting into conflicts sometimes with family members. You know, the stresses are usually a lot and the same. They're, you know, they're common stresses for students, and definitely the fact that you are working on your career goal and objectives. So that in itself is, it can be so much. So, you know, just want to encourage students out there, regardless of the stage that you're at, you know, the journey that you're on, it's definitely very sensitive, very critical. And I want you to feel as supported as you possibly can feel, and know that there's help out there for you. Get into your, you know, constant work, and get into your self-care routine. do things as a group, feel supported. Don't do everything on your own. If it's not necessary, you could have, serious groups of studies too, that you'll feel like the support at, the work is not, that it doesn't feel as pressuring when you could share with other persons and go through. So, those are some things that I want you to do. And there is this book that I put together. It's really stress management techniques for students, particularly for college students, but it could be applicable for any student at all. So parents, please grab one of these stress management techniques for students. And one of the techniques that I do have is stop, breathe, and reflect. So once you're feeling any signs, any symptoms, any form of anxiety trigger or physical ailments or anything that's very stressful or too much for you to handle, you just stop. You stop, you drop it. If you're in class, you excuse yourself, you get out. If you have to leave for the day, do that. Whatever it is, you stop. And then you practice what we consider to be a deep breathing, where you're actually inhaling and exhaling very slowly. Inhaling, just calm yourself down, inhale and exhale. Then you're going to reflect. You're going to think things through a little bit. What am I doing right now? Is it really worth it for me to stick this through? What can I do next? So you're going to do some reflection, and you're going to assess the situation and to see what's reasonable for you to do next. Maybe you have to tell teacher, you have to tell someone right there and then in that moment how you're feeling. You have to get the help that you need. All right, so we want students to be a lot more intentional in their care and to know that there is care out there for them. There's help. They have access to mental health techniques that can be useful for them to make it through their journey as a student. All right, so just just feel supported, all students out there. Just a shout out to you. Feel encouraged, feel supported. Also feel that you could stop and get all the support that you need if you feel any signs of stress or feeling overwhelmed. All right, there's a lot more techniques and I'll share some with you, some more with you. In the meantime, you could grab yourself a copy of this book and you get some help to support you while you go through your journey as a student. All right, so this is gonna be a wrap for you. Stay encouraged, all students out there. This is a wrap, and please go ahead, like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.